The Inside Edge Network is brought to you by Fanatics. Fanatics isn't just our name, it's who we are. Loyal, passionate fans, dedicated to our favorite teams and athletes to the sports we love. That's why we're honored to be able to offer fans the world's largest collection of official sports apparel and sports jerseys from all the leagues, teams, and players you love. We're talking NFL, Major League Baseball, NBA, National Hockey League, the NCAA. I'm a wrestling guy as well. We got WWE apparel available too. It allows us to serve fans of football, baseball, hockey, basketball, lacrosse, soccer, golf, and everything else that gets your heart pumping. Go to fanatics.com by using the QR code on your screen right now to celebrate your teams. It's right there in the corner of your screen. Get your official gear. Level up with us at fanatics.com. Hey, I got something to show you guys. Take a look. It is spring. Happy spring to all of you. Take a look at what we have here for you from allyrosefragrances.com. Beautiful spring scent candles here for you. Hand poured with premium fragrance and essential oils. How about this? Our coconut soy wax candles bring fresh, uplifting spring scents to your home. Made with clean, natural ingredients, they're a mindful choice for sensitive spaces and those who love effortless seasonal fragrances. You got to check it out right now. There's the soft bloom and the lemon bar candles, all healthy ingredients, all from allyrosefragrances.com. And if you're a first-time customer, use the promo code InsideEdge20. That's InsideEdge20. Get this for yourself, for your friends, family, everyone. You want a good-smelling home, allyrosefragrances.com will make it happen. Again, allyrosefragrances.com. Get the new spring candles. And when you order, if you're a first-time customer, InsideEdge20 is the promo code.
This is Midnight Run on the Inside Edge Network. Here's your host, Anthony Alford.
It's great to be here on a Tuesday night or Wednesday morning, as you may say. Welcome to Midnight Run here on the Inside Edge Network. Glad to have you with us. Anthony Alford here with you, and it's been a strange night. Really after 4 or 5 o'clock, just a ton of storms and rain and a ton of things happened. I couldn't even go to the gym today just because crazy storms just all night long. The crazier thing, it's been raining all night in Los Angeles. Been keeping track of the Guardians-Dodgers game as well as the Cavs-Lakers game, although the Cavs-Lakers game has quickly gone out of hand. Right now, the Lakers up 94-72. Lakers started to pull away in the second quarter, and then now in the third quarter, it's just been an absolute blitz with the Lakers. Luka Doncic has 31 points right now. So, this has been a tricky contest. But yeah, rain in Southern California. But apparently, even though Tony lied to us and said it never rained in Southern California, apparently between the months of November and March is considered wet season in Southern California. And then from April on, it's just completely dry. But what's not dry is what's happening here with Cleveland sports. Again, we'll talk Guardians a little bit when that goes final. Chase DeLauder, he went down with an injury earlier in the game, had a foul ball smack his ankle. The X-rays are negative, so hopefully we'll get details on that, what's going on that front. But right now, and I'll say this too, I only have one monitor, and it's 2 streaming services. So I have to flip back and forth. I don't have the multi-screen facet here, but I will tell you, since this Lakers game is probably getting out of hand. My TV is going to shift over to the Guardians game pretty soon. Last check, Dodgers up 2-0 against the Guardians, who at this point, let me see if they added an extra hit. At this point, yeah, only one hit for the Cleveland Guardians. But Tanner Bybee held on for 4 innings. 4 innings pitch, he held his own there. So we'll see. Hopefully we can get something on the board. Hoskins providing the only hit tonight for the Guardians. So again, we'll talk Guardians, Dodgers, time permitting, when that game concludes. In fact, I'm going to put it on the TV right now. Cavs, Lakers, not happening. And we're going to start with the Cavs. Also, we'll talk. Todd Monken has some things to say. A lot of things went down these last few days with the soap opera team, which is the Cleveland Browns, which we'll talk about in just a sec. Bear with me for 2 seconds. I am putting on the Guardians game right now, going to the MLB app to do that. Well, let me start with the Cavs. We talked extensively about what is the ideal. Let me make sure it's muted too. Okay, there we go. Is there a such thing as a ideal path to the championship, an ideal path to the finals? Where you're talking about really any team, not just the Cavs, but any team. Is there an ideal path to get there, right? So as of this moment, the Cavs are going to, barring some comeback, the Cavs are going to lose tonight. So they're going to stay with that 4th seed. At this very moment, the Cavaliers, at this moment, looking at the standings, they have the same number of losses as New York, but they're a half game back. Again, that will change after tonight, where they'll fall to 47-29. But I kept hearing with the Cavaliers, stay at that 4th spot. Stay at the 4th spot. Is there an ideal path there? And yeah, sure, it's ideal. The tricky thing with evaluating the Cavaliers, the fact that they haven't been healthy, I don't want to turn to that and use that as an excuse, but it is very true. The team as a whole has not been together. They're still not together. There's no Jalen Tyson in this West Coast swing. Obviously, tonight's game is the second half of a back-to-back on the West Coast. So exactly what kind of ramp-up are you going to get if you're the Cavs in getting things in working order? And then the other problem, and again, I'm not making excuses. This is what it is. You really can't scout who's going to be the 5th seed, who's going to be your first round opponent. You really can't scout them. Because right now, it could be the Atlanta Hawks. The Atlanta Hawks right now, 43-33. But right behind is the Toronto Raptors. And then maybe the Sixers can creep in there a little bit. So right now, it's a 3-team race for the 5th seed to see who you're facing. And I would like to say that, you know what? Settle in that 4th spot. Settle in. Take scheduled losses, and you'll be perfectly fine. The problem with that, this Cavs team has done that before. In fact, you don't have to go back that far. 2 years ago, they did that. Remember? Well, we got to stay at that 4th. It was the 4th seed, right? Stay at that 4th seed. You'll be perfectly fine. And then they weren't. In the first round, they faced the Orlando Magic, and it went all the way to 7 games. And while the Cavs pulled it out in 7, it was more than a sweat. It was way more than a sweat. It was the games that the Cavs lost in the first round, they didn't look good at all. They did not look good at all. So I truly don't believe in this whole, path of resistance or least resistance, that kind of thing. I get it. Listen. I know the Boston Celtics are a different beast. I get that. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, that's a battle. You're going to have to face them at some point anyway. I mean, if you're really not good enough to win a championship, what's the difference between getting bounced in the second round and then stumbling your way to the conference finals and still getting bounced? What's the difference? I really believe if you are going to be a championship contender, you have to face tough teams. You just do. And you have to have the mentality, and even us as fans, we got to have the mentality that we're going to earn the highest seed possible, and you're going to face the very best in the playoffs. There is no easy path. I mean, don't even just look at basketball. Look at football. Ask the Buffalo Bills what they thought this playoffs was going to be when Patrick Mahomes was hurt and the Kansas City Chiefs didn't make the playoffs and things were falling apart. Ask the Bills what they thought this playoffs was going to be. They had an easier path. Didn't matter. Still didn't get the job done. It was the Patriots who won the AFC. As opposed to the Seattle Seahawks, who had to, they got the number one seed, and that's the benefit, but you still, en route of getting to the number one seed, they had to beat everybody in the NFC West, the Rams, the Rams and Niners, both championship contenders. And the Seahawks had to go through both of them to win the division, to get the number one seed. And then in the playoffs, had to handle business again against the Niners and take care of business. So, en route to a Super Bowl. So, you got to face tough teams. If you want to go the distance, it's just one of those things that you simply have to do. Now, last week we debuted a new segment called Pick Your Poison Tuesday. And it kind of relates to tonight. Obviously, the Cavaliers facing the Lakers. The Cavaliers, maybe for the final time, facing LeBron James. So I didn't say retire. Maybe he could. Maybe he will retire. We know the summer of LeBron could be something, right? It could always be something, the summer of LeBron. But last week I asked, pick your poison. Would you take the red pill? The red pill being Cavs go to the NBA Finals, but they lose in 5 to OKC, like a gentleman's sweep, basically, to OKC. But they run back the exact same team next year and give it another shot. Or would you take the blue pill? The blue pill, you lose in round 2 in a close series, losing 7 to Detroit, and you run it and you kind of retool the team a little bit, and LeBron James comes in. Now, I didn't ask for any other supplements. Like, Giannis is not a part of this deal. And I did mention, too, I'm a little concerned about Giannis and his injury. Like, is he going to be okay? He's a bigger guy. So I worry about things like that. Like, are you going to be that same dude? Are you going to maintain your healthy status in the future? So I'm not all in on Giannis as a lot of people are. I'm just not. I wouldn't hate it, but I'm just not all in on it. But let's talk about LeBron here for a hot second. Is it possible for him to come back to Cleveland? Yes. Will it happen? It's possible. Will it involve a ton of give and take? Yes. From both sides. It will involve give and take on both ends. Look, the easy thing to say, and I retweeted a reporter who laid out the foundation for what you can do there. The easiest path of least resistance is LeBron signing a vet minimum. Let's be perfectly clear. Do any of us see that happening? No. Now, if LeBron did say, F it, I'll sign a vet minimum, anybody in the NBA can sign him. So that's not a problem at all. Anybody in the NBA can sign him. But I don't think that's the situation. That's not something that he's going to do. He is an all-time GOAT. He has really, for the last, really since his Miami tenure, commanded a bat load of money every single year. So to think that LeBron at this stage of his career, even for a potential retirement tour, is going to go back and do the same thing, I don't know. That's not something that I see. If the most shocking thing to me, if we hear LeBron James is playing for the Cleveland Cavaliers and he has accepted a veteran minimum contract, a vet contract, that would be shocking. No way. So there are some other paths. One thing that I have seen is if you do that, you do have a second apron, or the first apron you have to clear actually. But if you run a team with Donovan Mitchell, James Harden, and Evan Mobley, is a sign and trade in play. Jared Allen, now, would you trade him to the Los Angeles Lakers? Because you work out, and I also saw too, any of these scenarios, because you have the apron situation, would involve extending James Harden. So you have to make that math work. It would involve extending James Harden. But again, LeBron retirement tour could be very possible. It would be fun. Listen, whether they sign a trade, dump off Jared Allen and probably Max Strus, he would have to go to that contract. He would have to go, and maybe Keon Ellis or Dennis Schroeder, like one of those guys you're going to have to dump. Maybe you turn to the Brooklyn Nets and do kind of a salary dump type of situation. I'll just say there's a path for it to happen, but it has to make sense. I don't believe, and it's give and take on both ends. I don't believe if the Cavaliers go to the finals this year, I don't think either side would make it work for LeBron to join this team. By that point, if you make the finals, the Cavaliers and us, the fans, you're not going to want to blow this up a little bit. You're not going to want to retool the team. You're going to think you're right there. If that red pill scenario is there and you go to the finals, you're going to think you're right there. So you're not going to make any drastic moves. And here's the other kicker. And then we're late. We got to go to break here. Here's the other kicker. LeBron wants credit too. LeBron's a straight up businessman. He's not going to go into a situation where he feels underappreciated, and he's not going to sacrifice an entire lifestyle that he had in Los Angeles just to do a retirement tour in Cleveland where he's not appreciated. Where in his mind, he has to feel that he is, quote unquote, a savior again. No disrespect to Donovan Mitchell or James Harden or Evan Mobley, but it's easier to make a case that you're needed if you're bounced in the second round or in the first round, as opposed to getting bounced in the NBA Finals. It's a bit easier to make that claim. So there's going to be a ton of give and take. I mean, it's April 1st right now. If you had to, drop dead, what's going to happen? Things are a bit far apart. But every time LeBron has made a move, something over here happened. Something over there happened. And then something here happened. And then somehow, some way, in a stretch of 3 months, by July 1st of 2010, July 1st, 2014, July 1st, 2018, July 1st, 2026, this, and this suddenly all aligns. I don't know if April 1st of 2010, anybody envisioned LeBron James joining the Miami Heat. I don't know if anybody on April 1st, 2014 envisioned LeBron James rejoining the Cavaliers. I don't know if anybody on April 1st, 2018 envisioned LeBron James joining the Los Angeles Lakers. And on April 1st, 2026, I don't know if anybody envisions the reasonable path for LeBron to join the Cleveland Cavaliers. But each of those previous few dates that I just mentioned, there were things in place. So it's very possible something special could happen. Meanwhile, a place where nothing special is going to happen is the Cleveland Browns. To again, further drive home the point of what's going to happen with the quarterback room and the quarterback decision making. And while we're in a ton of trouble, like a ton of trouble. It's kind of embarrassing, really, when you think about it. We'll talk about that coming up on the other side. And again, we'll give you a Guardians-Dodgers update. I don't think we need to give you a Cavs-Lakers update. It's kind of ugly, right? It is pouring in Los Angeles, and they're still playing. All right, this is Midnight Run. We'll be right back.
Mosser Moments Photography is a husband and wife wedding photography team based in Cleveland, owned and operated by Ryan and Hallie Mosser. For the past 10 years, they've captured more than 100 weddings across Northeast Ohio and beyond, always working together as a true two-person team. Their style centers on authentic, emotional storytelling, documenting the real moments between two people in love and creating images that feel natural, comfortable, and true to the couple. Rooted in Northern Ohio, but inspired by their travels, Ryan and Hallie bring a warm, personal approach to every wedding day. Their work blends experience, consistency, and a genuine passion for helping couples relive their best day through timeless photography. Learn more at MosserMomentsPhotography.com. Whether you're searching for a baseball autographed by your favorite World Series slugger, a signed football by an iconic Hall of Famer, or the jersey of a world-famous soccer star, you've come to the right place. Here at sportsmemorabilia.com, the web's leading source of authentic sports memorabilia, you'll find more than 500,000 authentic products from nearly every professional sports league, team, and player. Not only will you find your next prized sports possession with ease thanks to superb customer service and tremendous site experience, but you'll have the satisfaction and peace of mind that every product listed comes complete with a certificate of authenticity and is fully backed by the sportsmemorabilia.com lifetime authenticity guarantee.
It is about that time. Since it is April 1st, it is getting close to Easter weekend, although Easter switches dates every year, and this is not the right podcast to explain why that's the case, but it is the case. But whatever the case may be, this year, Easter is coming up this upcoming weekend. Of course, Good Friday and opening day baseball for the Cleveland Guardians. And, of course, Easter Sunday. And you want to get yourself ready to go with BA Sweeties here in Northeast Ohio, right in Cleveland, Ohio, Interstate 480, the Ridge Road exit. Make a left on Brook Park Road, and you'll see a giant lollipop. And when you walk in, first off, the smell is just going to hit you of just candy goodness. It's amazing. It's imagine. I know you have the movie Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory. Imagine that, but better. BA Sweeties has you covered. BA Sweeties, you can walk in and grab this kind of popcorn, that kind of popcorn, this sour candy, these jelly beans. Of course, Easter weekend, the Peeps and the s'mores, a ton of stuff you can get at BA Sweeties. And it's not just candy. Of course, the classic sodas, right? I know you can have just the regular canned sodas, and it's fine. But the classic ones, the ones our parents talked about all the time, the parents and grandparents talked about all the time, the sugar cane, actual sugar cane ingredients with the classic sodas, it is there at BA Sweeties. Oh, and if that's not enough, ice cream and a ton of things as well. And I can mention ice cream because it was 80 degrees today and storms. So I can mention ice cream. But BA Sweeties is the place to be. Remember, if when you go, head up to, you order and stuff like that, in-store promotion, mention when you check out the word lollipop. Mention the word lollipop. If your card is $40 or more, you get $5 off of your order. Again, BA Sweeties, over 75 years of business. Again, mention the word lollipop. When you're, at the checkout, BA Sweeties is the place to be. Anthony Alford back here with you here on Midnight Run. I'm wearing the WrestleMania shirt from last year. Of course, we got the Side Hustle Wrestling podcast coming up Friday morning. WrestleMania season, a lot of stuff going down. Of course, Kyle Cornell, my co-host, he does the Raw reactions on Monday. I usually do the NXT reaction on Tuesdays, and this is no shot at the local stations here. The local stations have a community obligation. If there's a tornado warning, they have to break into programming. So we had several of those here in Northeast Ohio. So didn't really get the chance to watch the finish of the main event of NXT. Didn't really get the opportunity to hear full promos because of alerts throughout the night. So no NXT review for me this week, but typically we have those. And I did a SmackDown one this week as well. Okay, but again, Side Hustle Wrestling Podcast, you can check that out Friday mornings, and we also have social media pages as well. The TikTok at Side Hustle Podcast 216 on TikTok, and Side Hustle Wrestling Podcast 216 on YouTube, where you can watch the full episodes. All right, let's talk Todd Monken and the Cleveland Browns. It's the soap opera. And, we try to do our due diligence. Listen. I've been in the business for over a decade now through terrestrial radio. I've been so fortunate to work with a lot of great people on a night in and night out basis, day in, day out basis. And now we're doing this independently on the Inside Edge Network, where I have an opportunity to lead a staff of great, talented people, men and women that you see in front of the camera and behind the camera here on the Inside Edge Network. And the toughest thing to do is not just come up with content, but figure out the order of content, what's being presented. So I get it. Listen. Sometimes I bitch and moan about the amount of times the Browns are covered. I mean, sometimes it is ridiculous. I get it. Believe me, I get it. The problem is when they have dumb people running stuff, sometimes they just give you material. It's too much. It's one of those, it's here. You might as well use it. People will soak it up. And again, we do our due diligence, right? We're 37 minutes into the show. I didn't bring up the Browns yet until right now. So again, I try to be disciplined on these things, but people like to react to the Cleveland Browns for content reasons. So that's the case. Just like what we're about to play for you right here. Todd Monken, of course, was at the NFL meetings in Arizona. I love how on primetime they talked about his haircut. Barbershop appointment but you missed your appointment. It's crazy. But Todd Monken, he looks good. Nice lineup and haircut. He had this to say. This is courtesy of my buddy Spencer German, Locked On Browns and the Fan, 92.3 The Fan. He's out in Arizona. We might get him on to see what's going on. But this is what Todd Monken had to say about a variety of topics, including the QB reps. Take a look.
I wouldn't say they're going to be evenly dispersed, but we'll definitely disperse them to give ourselves a chance to at least evaluate who we have on the roster, whoever that might be, as we go through the offseason.
Aren't going to be divided evenly, so I assume like somebody's going to get more reps without, looking at Deshaun's prior film or knowing how they're fit in your offense. How do you decide who is kind of QB1, tentatively to start the offseason workouts?
By basically what we've seen in the past and where the year ended last year.
So does that mean Shore gets the bulk of the reps?
I'm not ready to say that yet. I just said the reps can't be divided up evenly. There's no chance it can be divided up evenly. At least on a daily basis.
Why would you not divide the reps up evenly? Like, what is your thinking or philosophy behind not doing that?
Well, I think there's always competition, irrespective of the number of reps a player gets. The number of reps a player gets doesn't eliminate competition. It's just in a given day. Let's say, for instance, you want to see a quarterback with the first group, a second group, a third group. Well, are you going to divide those reps up evenly? Are you going to divide up the reps everywhere evenly? I don't see it that way. I don't see it. That doesn't mean there's not competition. I just see it as in a given day, and it'll be daily in terms of who gets what reps and when. Because we certainly want to allocate our reps to the players we feel like are going to give us the best chance to win.
So that means Dylan Gabriel's getting no reps. That's takeaway number one. Again, thank you to my buddy Spencer German for that. Dylan Gabriel. And did you hear those reports, by the way? Adam Schefter, he was on with McAfee, and Shefty mentioned Shedeur Sanders has been in the building every single day, basically. They're practically roommates, essentially. Deshaun Watson, he usually pops in and out here and there. Dylan Gabriel's not there at all. And me personally, I don't really care to talk much about Dylan Gabriel. For all I care, he can go to the Falcons. That was a Kevin Stefanski decision to put him out there on the field, reach to grab him. Personally, he ain't ready. Dylan Gabriel's not even relevant to the overall big picture discussion that we're having right now. And if Dylan Gabriel is taking starting reps for the Cleveland Browns and starting games, your season is already toast. That's it. but for a different reason. He's just not a good player. He's just not. He proved it last year. Now, so it's going to come down to Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders. Now, when we talked yesterday, I was and I still am, livid about what Jimmy Haslam had to say about Deshaun Watson, essentially saying there's a great chance that he could be the starting quarterback for the Browns. And, we mentioned all the football stuff with Deshaun Watson. There are loads of football things that we mentioned with Deshaun Watson that's simply not there. You've been waiting 6 years to have consistent play. The one time where there was a little bit of a stretch where Deshaun can finally be back, ready to go. Remember, what was it, 2013? I'm sorry, 2023 season, where he had that game against Baltimore, actually before against Seattle, and then against Baltimore. And it's okay, he can finally turn the corner, and then he was hurt, out for the rest of the season. That was when Joe Flacco came in, and Joe Flacco magic onto the playoffs. But other than that little stretch, not much really of anything from Deshaun Watson since he was signed here in 2022. I mean, I remember it was March of 2022, the day after St. Patrick's Day, on that Friday, and the day after he rejected the Browns, and the Browns made that offer. But the other reason why is you just can't really put him out there. All the non-football stuff, people didn't forget about that. People didn't forget all the things that allegedly happened, right? And this ain't court TV. I'm not going to dive in and get into it. I'm not going to judge another person because I'm far from perfect. The only person that's perfect is the man upstairs. But he never proved his innocence from those legal situations. So there's a lot of people who simply don't like that dude. And I hate to say it like this. Okay, in the past, he could be a bad guy, but as long as he plays well, you can put it aside. It's a bad way to look at things, but people do look at it that way when it comes to sports. You can't even do that because he hasn't played well at all. But I am fully convinced that, again, Jimmy Haslam, who has spent a boatload of money on this dude, he's going to put him out there until he's on E. He's going to put him out there. And I believe that's going to drive away Shedeur Sanders. And, I mean, it's going to drive away Dylan Gabriel. I don't really care about that part, but it'll drive those guys away. The reps thing's important. The reps that Todd Monken mentioned. The freshly haircut Todd Monken mentioned. That part's important because that tells me Deshaun Watson is going to receive every opportunity possible to win the starting job. Every single possible avenue. He's going to get as many reps as possible to win that starting job. Unless Shedeur Sanders in practice, and again, Shedeur Sanders is handling this the right way. Shedeur Sanders, what you got to do is be in that office every single day. You got to remind people that, you're here in the building. So he's handling this right. In best case scenario, and what I hope happens, all right, fine. If you're going to start Deshaun Watson, trot him out there the first week or so. If he bombs, get to Shedeur Sanders by week 3, and Shedeur Sanders takes it the rest of the way. That's logically, if we're going to go down this path, fine. That's probably for the best as far as compromise. Definitively prove that this guy, Deshaun Watson, effing sucks. But that's not going to happen. That's not the Jimmy Haslam way. It's that We don't have Jimmy Haslam money. It's not our money. It's his money. And he has chosen to ride out Deshaun Watson. And I think that's going to be the path. And I know some people on TikTok yesterday got up in arms over what I said about an extension. Again, I'm not saying things that I like. I'm saying things that I see. I notice trends. I've been around long enough. I spot uncomfortable things before it happens. I'm telling you right now. If Deshaun Watson starts, he will, by the way. If he starts and he's average. Andrew Berry already mentioned it. His contract will be extended. He's not going anywhere. If he's healthy, he's not going anywhere. Because Deshaun Watson already has to, you already got to put years upon years upon years to kind of like flatline the contract, signing bonus, all that stuff. They're going to make full use out of Deshaun Watson, even though he has not played consistently relevant football since 2019. So to think too, it's like the equivalent of, I don't know. Imagine back in 2010 when the Cavaliers signed Shaquille O'Neal and Jimmy Haslam was the owner of the Cleveland Cavaliers. And Jimmy Haslam said, we want Shaquille O'Neal to be prime Los Angeles Lakers 2000 Shaq in 2010. No. But that's what he's doing with Deshaun Watson. He's asking Deshaun Watson in 2026 to be 2018, 2019 Deshaun Watson. I don't care who you are. That's not possible. It's not happening. It's not happening. But he's going to blow up a franchise to force his way to happen, for it to happen. And I do think there is a doomsday scenario in place where, and this is why I'm saying what I'm saying. Shador is doing all the right things. But I'm telling you right now, there's not much more. Deion Sanders, who's obviously been around the NFL, Hall of Famer, like he has people in every office, in every circle. I'm telling you, in the next 2 weeks, maybe sooner, Deion Sanders is going to pull the plug and is going to, get my kid out of here. Get him out of here. If this is the path, get him out of here. And because I don't think they see much in Dylan Gabriel, that is where the doomsday scenario of Ty Simpson comes into play. That's where he would come into play. I don't want any of this to happen. 6 and 24 should be, you get your stud number one receiver, and if it's there, alignment. But this is the path that they're going to take. And it's really unfortunate. It really, really is. So it is what it is. With the Cleveland Browns, it's exhausting. It's exhausting. But this is what they want to do. All right, we'll take a quick break, come back. We'll give you the final totals. Looks like this Guardians-Dodgers game is out of hand, and I still can't believe they're playing. It's been raining pretty much the whole way. Let me quickly check as we go to break the Cavs score right now. Yes, they played in March. Yeah, that's done. So we'll give you those updates on the other side of this break. And we'll do Pick Your Poison Tuesday on the other side of this break as well. This is Midnight Run. I'm Anthony Alford. Great to have you with us here on the Inside Edge Network. Follow us on the socials at Inside Edge Net. And again, go to the QR code, our website, InsideEdgeNetwork.com. Back after this.
Clean energy, bold flavors, no jitters. See why people won't shut up about Dubby. Clean energy, no jitters or crash, helps you lock in and focus. Over 15 absolute fire flavors to choose from. Visit w.gg and use promo code InsideEdge10. Mosser Moments Photography is a husband and wife wedding photography team based in Cleveland, owned and operated by Ryan and Hallie Mosser. For the past 10 years, they've captured more than 100 weddings across Northeast Ohio and beyond, always working together as a true two-person team. Their style centers on authentic, emotional storytelling, documenting the real moments between two people in love and creating images that feel natural, comfortable, and true to the couple. Rooted in Northern Ohio, but inspired by their travels, Ryan and Hallie bring a warm, personal approach to every wedding day. Their work blends experience, consistency, and a genuine passion for helping couples relive their best day through timeless photography. Learn more at mossermomentsphotography.com. Whether you're searching for a baseball autographed by your favorite World Series slugger, a signed football by an iconic Hall of Famer, or the jersey of a world-famous soccer star, you've come to the right place. Here at sportsmemorabilia.com, the web's leading source of authentic sports memorabilia, you'll find more than 500,000 authentic products from nearly every professional sports league, team, and player. Not only will you find your next prized sports possession with ease thanks to superb customer service and tremendous site experience, but you'll have the satisfaction and peace of mind that every product listed comes complete with a certificate of authenticity and is fully backed by the sportsmemorabilia.com lifetime authenticity guarantee.
This is Midnight Run on the Inside Edge Network. Here's your host, Anthony Alford.
All right, final segment of the show. Welcome back. Great to have you back here with us. We got a few minutes left here, so we got to get right into it. The Lakers, a winner 127-113. Luka, 42 points. Man, just again that the second quarter, especially the third quarter, it turned ugly. Lakers 45 points scored in the third quarter, outscoring the Cavaliers in the second and third quarter. Let's see if I can do quick math. That's 78-49. 78-49. the Lakers outscored the Cavs in the second and third quarter to let things get away. The Cavs actually led in the first at the end of the first quarter, 34-32 over the Lakers. But that's that. NBA talk's going to be interesting. The one thing that we did not talk about on the LeBron factor, are the Lakers actual legitimate championship contenders? I mean, I think we assume that we assume out of the West is going to be OKC or San Antonio or Denver. But the Lakers have been hanging tight in the Western Conference. They're the third seed, but again, path to the championship. So that'll be interesting. To me, the Lakers are either going to get bounced in round one. Looks like they're going to probably face the Houston. So either they're going to get bounced in round one, or they're going to go to the conference finals or NBA finals. That's another wrinkle. The Lakers are a really good team, and the tricky thing on their end is figuring out how to get LeBron, Luka, and Austin Reeves all together and playing well, and they have. So they're going to be interesting to watch. Of course, here in Cleveland, we're interested in what could happen post-Lakers season with LeBron. And meanwhile, the Guardians, they're down right now 4-0, top of the ninth to the Dodgers. The games that they have lost, the Guardians, and again, very mindful that it's baseball. It's very early, and they have faced two elite teams. The beginning of this is a murderous row in terms of scheduling. You go in at Seattle, at the Los Angeles Dodgers. So what I'm about to say comes with the understanding of the competition. The games they have lost, the Guardians, offensively, they have been bare. Offensively. Looks like they're not going to have any runs in this contest with the Dodgers. And then, of course, Sunday night, they were shut out by Seattle. And then Friday night, they only had one run. So the games they have lost or are in process of losing, offensively, there hasn't been a spark plug. And, of course, Chase DeLauter getting hurt very early in the game, that did not help at all. He got foul ball, hit the ankle. It sucks. It's of course it happens to us, of course. But, just not a good night offensively. Only one hit. So, at least to this point. So, just not a good start. Although, I don't mean to do live play-by-play. I'm not doing live play-by-play, but the Guardians do have a runner on first and third here at top of the ninth. And Rocchio, who's 0 for 3, he's at the plate right now. So we'll see. Maybe they can make late stretch against the bullpen, maybe. Tanner Bybee, by the way, pitched 4 innings. Today, Ohtani pitched 6 innings in a rainy night in Los Angeles. Something that I just not really expecting at all. Before we do pick your poison, I want to mention a couple. We have a few comments that has come in. Our guy here at the Inside Edge Network, Raul, he said, "Look, sign Cody Kessler. Trust me on this one. Cody Kessler is the guy." Man, it's hard to believe. If you're Cody Kessler, you are best known by a quote from a head coach who went winless. Bro, trust me, he's the guy. God bless Hugh Jackson. This comment here: trade Miles for 3 first-round picks and tank for next year's quarterback. That quarterback class next year is loaded. Like college football this fall, we need to pay attention. We need to pay attention to college football this fall. And listen, we talked a little bit about this yesterday. Remember the Browns, Andrew Berry submitted a proposal extending the draft capital to what 5 years instead of the current 3 years. And it strictly did not get passed. Not because it was a bad proposal. It flat out did not get passed because the Cleveland Browns submitted it. That's why. The Cleveland Browns submitted that ruling and it didn't get passed. I guarantee. And Sean McVay, do I have the clip here? Yeah, I do. Sean McVay laughed it off yesterday. This is Sean McVay with Kay Adams on Up at Adams FanDuel TV, laughing about that trade proposal from the Browns.
One of the things that's really big is this Browns proposal to be able to trade draft picks like 5 years instead of just 1 year.
Sure.
With the mentality that you and how excited are you guys about that? I'm sure
well, it's big. There's 0% chance that'll get through. So
really?
You'll talk. Yeah, nobody. I respect the courage for Andrew to be able to have a very sound reasoning of what's behind it. Hey, if there's one thing you can bet Vegas odds on, there's no chance that thing's getting through.
But you'd back that, no? You're not going to pound the table for that?
Nope,
Why not? You don't really?
Yeah, competition committee was 11-0. I'm on the competition committee.
Yeah, he just laughed it off. And again, it's not a bad proposal. It came from the Cleveland Browns, and they're still paying for Deshaun Watson. All right, we'll end with this. Pick your poison Tuesday. Went really well last week. We're going to do it again every single Tuesday. Pick your it's poison, folks. When you pick your poison, that means it's nothing good, but it's you got to take one of the other pills, right? The red pill or the blue pill. So this in particular is for Cleveland Browns and WWE fans, right? So here we go. Let me pull it up here. And all right, here we go. So pick your poison Tuesday. So here we go. If you're a Browns and WWE fan, this is for you. Would you take the red pill, which is Deshaun Watson is named QB1 of the Cleveland Browns, Shedeur Sanders is traded, and the Browns draft Ty Simpson with the 6th pick? That's the red pill. The blue pill. Vince McMahon returns to WWE as an on-screen character and takes over creative from Triple H. Which pill are you taking? And for me, again, they both suck. They're both trash. But I would take the red pill. This is actually pretty easy for me. I would take the red pill, and I would take it for one reason and one reason only. Deshaun Watson, if all that happens, at least it will be one season of us crashing. One season. There's a few Sundays that I'm going to watch on behalf of the network and our shows, but, we're not going to do much of anything. And it's not going to impact our Sundays as the Dodgers and Guardians games just went final 4-1. I didn't have to swing that. But thank you, ESPN. But yes, I would take that. Crazy thing, when I was at the radio stations, TAM and then 92.3, every single day you're covering teams, you're covering. So when I left the Fan, that was actually a moment when I kind of decompressed a little bit. I left, December of 2023. You kind of decompressed for a moment. All right, I can finally enjoy this as a fan, not looking for stories and stuff. And then during the 2024 season, I went to Cedar Point during one of the games. I think it was the Browns Commanders game. We got our butts kicked. I didn't care. And there were a few other games. My ex and I, we walked the trails instead of watching football. I can decompress from football. If ownership makes bad decisions like Jimmy Haslam, I can simply choose not to watch. And I can move on with my day, and that's that. Vince produced crappy weekly television. Look, listen. If you watch the Side Hustle Wrestling podcast every Friday, you should, if you're a wrestling fan. You understand that Kyle and I, we've been pretty hard on Triple H in the creative direction, and the build to WrestleMania hasn't been that fun, anything like that. We get all that. But, and some of the television shows haven't been that great. But I would take what's going on right now over the 50-50 booking we was getting back in the day, over the inconsistent television we were getting back in the day, over the shows that were put together as the show was airing days of Vince McMahon, and just chaotic behavior and all this stuff going on. And it just wasn't good television. And I don't have interest in watching an 80-year-old man return to my television. The Browns, I could put away the Browns for 16, 17 games and still enjoy my Sundays. You still got fantasy football. You still got Red Zone. You still got the National Football League. I'll be fine. I can't have my wrestling be trash. I love wrestling. It's a 52-week investment. That can't be bad. If it's bad, we got problems. That impacts how my week goes. So I would, without hesitation, again, this is strictly if you're a Browns fan and WWE fan, without hesitation, I would take the red pill, because at least it's a 1-year deal. If Deshaun Watson, if you got to prove to Jimmy Haslam that Deshaun Watson needs to crash and burn, and that's that, go ahead, by all means. And then June 1st, 2027, he's out of here. And that's that. All right. Thank you, guys. It's past 1 o'clock. We started a little late. We're ending a little late, but that's okay. Thank you guys for joining us here on Midnight Run. Here with you Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And again, continue to support all of us here at the Inside Edge Network. We're working to put together great content. So, your support matters a ton. So again, thank you guys for joining us. Go to our website, the QR code's at the corner of the screen, InsideEdgeNetwork.com. Support our sponsors, our partners this week. And, have a great time. All right. It is the middle of the week. It's April 1st. You really should get to bed. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow, Unpack Wednesdays. We got a few other things that we got to get to as well. Maybe somebody else will say something stupid. Probably from the Browns. All right, good night, everybody.